Just months ago, McLaren was being hailed as a reborn team, a rejuvenated force taking the fight to Red Bull and Ferrari, led by two young lions at the forefront. But now, as the 2025 season races toward its dramatic finale, tension is beginning to simmer inside the orange garage. One championship, two drivers, and one inescapable truth: only one will emerge as world champion. In Hungary, the cracks finally surfaced. A controversial strategic call handed victory to Lando Norris, slicing Oscar Piastri's championship lead to just 9 points. The final laps weren't merely racing, they were psychological warfare. Lockups, near collisions, and pointed radio messages painted a stark picture. The battle lines have been drawn. And now, McLaren CEO Zak Brown has broken his silence. This video takes you behind the curtain of McLaren's internal power struggle. If you're passionate about the politics and pressure that shape Formula One, stay with us and subscribe. What's happening inside McLaren could determine the futures of both drivers. Let's break it down. Zak Brown's recent comments are as revealing as they are unsettling. He's confirmed what many insiders have long suspected. McLaren is doing everything in its power to prevent an all-out civil war between Norris and Piastri, but the signs of strain are increasingly difficult to ignore. The battle for the 2025 title is already eroding the unity McLaren spent years constructing. Hungary wasn't just another race, it was a turning point. Norris benefited from a superior strategy, holding off Piastri in a high-stakes finale where the Australian locked up and nearly collided with his teammate. But the real spark, Piastri's now infamous radio message: "I don't care about Leclerc, I just want the best chance to beat Lando." That wasn't heat-of-the-moment frustration, it was the moment the championship fight turned personal. Until now, McLaren had walked a delicate tightrope, promoting harmony while nurturing two title-capable drivers. Piastri has been the cold-blooded assassin, consistent, sharp, emotionally composed. Norris, McLaren's longtime golden boy, has matured from a paddock prankster into a hardened, motivated race winner. But when both believe this is their year, something has to give. The ghosts of Montreal still haunt the garage. Norris accepted responsibility after colliding with Piastri, ending his own race. Though classified as a racing incident in a title battle, every lost point stings, and while teams move on, drivers rarely forget. Now McLaren faces a challenge few teams are prepared for: two drivers, one title, and no clear hierarchy. Zak Brown has bluntly admitted, one of them will be devastated. It's rare honesty in F1, and it reflects the storm brewing behind the scenes. Brown and team principal Andrea Stella are already discussing how to manage the emotional fallout. With 10 races remaining, a single mechanical failure, a misjudged safety car, or a botched pit stop could swing the championship. But how do you ask a driver who has given everything to accept defeat at the hands of a teammate? Brown believes that McLaren's culture, built on open and transparent communication, will keep things from falling apart. But F1 history isn't kind to teammates battling for the same crown. Ask Mercedes. Ask Red Bull. Hamilton versus Rosberg, Vettel versus Webber, those rivalries didn't erupt overnight. They simmered behind PR smiles until a moment of betrayal shattered the illusion. McLaren may be approaching that point. Brown has strongly pushed back on suggestions that Norris is mentally weaker than Piastri, calling such narratives not accurate. And to be fair, the stats support him. Norris has now won multiple races from pole, silencing critics who doubted his ability to close. But perception is powerful. If Piastri believes the team favors Norris, or if Norris feels entitled to loyalty after years of service, trust begins to crack. Whispers in the paddock already suggest that Piastri feels increasingly isolated. Some point to a colder tone in his radio messages. Others say Norris is asserting himself off track too, not just as McLaren's face, but as the driver around whom the team should rally. McLaren's astonishing 299-point lead in the Constructors' Championship only heightens the internal stakes. There's no external threat now. Ferrari and Mercedes are out. Red Bull, while still a factor with Verstappen, trails Piastri by 97 points, mathematically possible but fading strategically. The spotlight is entirely on McLaren, and the two McLaren cars, they're no longer allies, they're each other's greatest threat. It's ironic. McLaren created this dilemma through success, smart upgrades, sharp strategies, and a unified leadership team. But in F1, internal success can be more dangerous than external pressure. With the championship so close, every race is a potential flashpoint. Will both drivers receive equal strategy support if one has a slight points edge? Will McLaren risk a double DNF by letting them race freely at Zandvoort, Monza, or Baku? Or will team orders creep in? Imagine Norris is second, Piastri leads but is slower. Do you let them fight? Do you ask Oscar to move over? What if roles reverse? Does Lando yield? These aren't hypotheticals. These are real decisions McLaren must make. The wrong call could cost more than the championship. It could cost a driver's loyalty. And waiting in the wings, Verstappen. If McLaren's self-destructs figuratively or literally, the door swings open. One chaotic race and Max is back in contention. He's seen it all before. He knows how to win while others implode. Perhaps the most volatile factor of all is human emotion. Formula One may be engineered with data and precision, but it's driven by pride, ego, and heartbreak. Come December, one McLaren driver may become world champion. The other, forced to applaud from the sidelines, possibly beaten with the help of the very team he trusted. Zach Brown is already having difficult conversations to prepare for that reality, but no amount of diplomacy can undo betrayal. If team orders decide the final race, who will McLaren back? Norris, the loyal prodigy. Or Piastri, the cold strategist? And more importantly, will either ever forgive the team?